So our next guest is Brad Formsma. He is an incredible guy that's been creating some videos for us, actually not us, for the world, around the concept of I Like Giving. If you haven't read the book, you should do that for sure. Go to I Like Giving. And what's also interesting about his various videos, which you'll see throughout the MCON program, is that each one of them takes a different angle to inspire civic or passion and involvement and care for others. So my next guest is Brad with I Like Giving. Hey Brad, good to see you.
Good to see you.
So I think
Thanks
Brad
for having
just
me.
actually flew in at 8 a.m. Did you arrive?
It's true.
Wow, thank you.
Straight from LA.
Of course. So Brad, talk a little bit about I Like Giving.
Well, I Like Giving started with a newspaper article. And you say, how could that be? Well, there was a story of a Sudanese father and son that had their bike stolen. And I'm thinking, all they went through, and they end up in our city in Grand Rapids, Michigan, and that's how the dad would get to work. And so our family huddled around and we said, what could we do? And my 10-year-old at the time said, let's go get them bikes. Yeah. And so we did. We set out on a wild goose chase, found them, and when we did, because of the language barrier, Derek, all the dad could say is, I like bike, I like bike, I like bike. And so as I would tell that story to you and your friends here at MCON, it just started to catch. People started to create their own I like story, and that's how it started.
Excellent. So what was the first video?
Our first film was I Like Bug Shells. Catchy, right?
Tell us about it.
Story of a 5- and 7-year-old girl who heard about the needs of clean water in another country, another part of the world. And so they set out to do something about it in their own way. And they started collecting pop cans in their neighborhood and asking for some donations, and ended up pulling like $67 together, sent it off to a relief organization. And so we just said, you know, that's powerful, because when someone can start early seeing the needs of other people, it's a game changer for life.
So you put up the first video. How many views?
So I actually don't know how many I Like Bug Shells has seen. We've had a lot of excitement in the last 3 days.
You just released I Like My Dad.
We just released I Like My Dad, and as that excitement and commotion was taking place, we got a whole new lift on I Like Being 98, which is, you know, the polar opposite of the 5- and 7-year-old girl, a 98-year-old lady who drives her neighbor who's got a disability to the grocery store every week. And that thing popped about 1.2 million additional viewings in the last 4 days. And you just don't know where they catch on. So
some good viral stuff.
Yeah, and those are the bookends, Derek. You know, you can see that whether you're 5 and 7 or 98 or anywhere in between, we can give wherever we are with whatever we have. Yeah. Because giving goes way beyond money.
So why do you think you launch these videos, you do all of this, why do they get so popular? I mean, what's happening?
Well,
what's in your view?
I really see people wanting hope. I really believe that people want to experience the joy of giving, and I think that comes when it's our idea. I mean, no one wants to give under duty or obligation or guilt or all these other things, but when we cook it up in our own spirit and say, hey, I see a need, I can go do something for somebody else, that really fires our rockets, and we want to be a part of something bigger. And you know what? There's so much cool science and data out there these days. Whatever your age, particularly the generation that you're all interacting with, it's very known that as you spend time doing things for other people, you experience a happier, better life. Yeah. Less stress, less depression. I mean, it goes on and on. Higher levels of love. I mean, come on.
Yeah.
It's all good.
What can go wrong, right? So we're showing 2 videos today. Not now, don't worry, but 2 videos. One of them is I Like Being 98, the one that you were talking about. Yep. Give us a little bit of the synopsis.
Well, it's Evelyn. She's 98. In fact, I met her 11 years ago. I was getting my hair cut. And I'm thinking about widows and orphans. Like, where did guys like you and I find a widow, right? So I'm getting getting my hair cut, and I'm thinking, well, I think that lady that cuts my hair. So I said to her, do you know a widow that needs help? And she's like, yeah. And so she gave me this lady's address. And so we were giving her money anonymously for years. And then I kind of thought she'd die. She was 88 at the time, but she didn't. And one day my lady hairdresser said, "You got to meet Evelyn." And when we did, I started to hear more about her generous life. Now, keep in mind, she's living just above Social Security income. Husband died a few years ago and they depleted all their resources, but she still takes the time to give her life away to somebody else. And it's so energizing. And she's a little firecracker. When you see it, you'll laugh. It's a fun film. And she fights to get her license back, never had a ticket, better record than me.
Yeah.
And so that's that story.
Cool. Next one is I Like My Dad in honor of Father's Day. That one that was last week. So tell us about this one.
Well, we put that out before Father's Day, but that's a long shelf life story, right? I mean, the power of seeing the need of someone else. Again, this is a story of a guy working on Wall Street who says, I could spend everything that comes in on me, or I saw how my grandpa died a painful, pretty ugly Parkinson's disease death. And he committed, if my dad ever gets that, I'm going to see to it that my dad can have his bucket list items met. And sure enough, his dad ended up getting that disease. But the outlook's different, and this kid has invested huge into his dad's life to fulfill some of his dad's bucket list and help him train for a marathon. I don't want to give the rest of it away, but it's going crazy for us.
Good.
And we know the power of taking care of our parents, but we all get busy.
Yeah.
And we all know that it's easy to spend more on ourselves than maybe we should have. And as we spend more and do for others, we get probably a better perspective on life and the way it should be.
Good. All right, so a few seconds left. Tell us where we go to watch all the videos.
ILikeGiving.com.
Okay, and you got a book there too, right?
We do. The book, I Like Giving, catchy name,
Yeah.
is available wherever books are sold. ILikeGiving.com, and as well as on Facebook, we're there, and YouTube. So thank you for having me.
Thank you, Brad. Thanks so much.
Good.